For decades, the choices have been limited for our adult children with disabilities. Their futures have been controlled by well-intended agencies who are often consumed in a financial fight for their own survival. Families of children with disabilities are caught in the middle and need our support. Some of us can help with time, others with money, but in the end, we often hesitate to help because our roles are not clearly defined. Today, thanks to microboards and cooperatives, we have a choice. Microboards and cooperatives, a path to a better quality of life. Microboards and cooperatives are changing the landscape for all of us. They're creating a powerful circle of support for individuals with disabilities.
A microboard is just a circle of support. It's a group of people that love and care about the person with the disability that forms a circle of support around them and supports each of them according to their needs.
We look more about possibilities instead of waiting for the service system to tell us what we should be doing. We look at who this person is, what's important to their life, what are the gifts and talents of that individual, as well as the people in their microboard or cooperative, and capitalize on that.
Microboards and cooperatives are both small nonprofit corporations that are designed to help people with disabilities figure out their goals and dreams, and then also figure out ways to support themselves and have people who care about them support them in living out those dreams.
The concept is not new, but if organized properly, the reach is significant and the results are stunning.
Brian is living a life now that is so different. To think that 2 years ago he was in the court system, watching TV in his room all the time, being coerced to go out and had no job. It's almost like coming from, a life that had very little quality to a life that is just abundantly filled with quality. His calendar's more full than mine.
People get to make decisions in their lives, and families get to make decisions about their lives that they weren't able to before. And so I think sometimes self-direction and cooperatives and microboards and all these things are harder, but they're also better.
A microboard typically consists of a small group of committed family members and close friends who join together with an individual with a disability to create a nonprofit organization. A cooperative consists of 3 or more individuals with a disability, along with their families, who join forces and share support and services. In effect, the individuals with a disability become the CEOs.
A microboard for me is just having people around that I can rely on whenever I need it. Good day, bad day, whenever I feel like I need it. And having that extra support just makes me feel like I'm worth it and worth being a person.
I don't know, I just seem to be very active whenever I'm with them. I mean, I'm the vice president of the board. Yeah, it does. I'm in control.
I put the VHS tape here, I push dub, and then it goes onto the DVD, and then I label it on the menu.
Well, he comes over and visits us. Every time he comes to work on the pop machines, he makes sure that he comes over next door and gives us all a hug and a handshake, and we give him some stuff about the bulls and the cubs.
A successful microboard or cooperative will help an adult with a disability begin living the life that they choose to live, providing them with ongoing support and services.
The sense of accomplishment that she gets from the activities she's involved in, and especially from finding her first job, it's just done wonders for her self-image.
Then we have a miracle in our life. We now have hopes and dreams, and I don't know if anybody said, but Becca's accomplished everything that she set out for her 10-year goal, except for 2. The 2 that she hasn't accomplished is getting married herself and being in her sister's wedding. and the rest of it has already, she's achieved, you know, and we're thinking we've got a little bit of time, but we need rollerblades to keep up with her, you know. It's like, go, 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 and let's go some more, so.
Each organization brings together a team of diverse and passionate people who all care about the individual. Each person on the team brings either a fresh idea, unique skill set, financial power, available time, or simply just an unbridled passion to do the right thing for someone they care about.
I have a child with a disability, an adult child now who's 21, and I really, on this journey, have found it to be helpful to find people that are on the journey together and are, so that I'm not doing it alone or not trying to do system changing or even advocating just for my son on my own. So being in community with other people is important to me.
It's a matter of the people who are immediately impacted by this getting together to try and solve the problems together. And that's the biggest reason why, you know, I've gotten involved, or the exact reason I've gotten involved is that because there is hope here that we will get that kind of assistance, because we'll be creating it ourselves.
People are amazed by what a co-op can offer versus a more traditional service provider.
We can find common goals and creative ways to meet our needs.
The microboard concept and first actual microboard were created in 1986 in Manitoba, Canada by David and Faye Wetherow. Several years later, the idea was taken up by the Vela Microboard Association in British Columbia, who trademarked the term as a way of ensuring that people who use the term would be operating with the philosophy and principles that are integral to the concept.
The story is actually really personal. We got an invitation to help somebody get out of an institution who'd been living there in Manitoba for about 30 years. And we were thinking about, we were sort of tussling about the question of connecting with an agency or creating a new agency. And what we decided to do instead was to form one small circle of support that was based in the community, that would actually organized as a tiny corporation, so it could do business with the government, make a deal with the government to provide the services and supports that he needed, and be faithful to him over the long term.
Today, both microboards and cooperatives are making a significant impact on the lives of thousands, not only benefiting those with a disability, but also those individuals who want to help a family member or neighbor. Communities are feeling the impact as well, with newly empowered individuals who are reaching higher and doing more than ever thought possible.
There's a young man named BJ that his parents were able to purchase a home for him, and so he is in the process right now of moving in and getting a roommate. And so even right now, while we're still in the transition time, he is spending nights by himself, independent in his own house, and every chance that he gets to move into it, to be in his house, he is really excited. So it's just been cool to watch him have a sense of autonomy, have a sense of independence, and just separation from his parents, and to feel like he's an adult, which is exactly what he is.
She's constantly marketing the business, whether we go to the store and I meet an old friend, she's got her business card out and says, "Hey, I'm Rebecca and I make dog biscuits," you know. And so she's constantly got that mindset of the business on hand, and that to generate the business you have to talk to people.
And when he comes up here, he's great. And he's like a totally different person from when I knew him, you know, when he was doing it when he was 19 years old. I mean, how much he's learned and how much he's advanced just by being up here and around people and learning skills and just setting tables, setting, you know, little things like salt and pepper shakers. I mean, he gets such a big kick out of it and has so much fun doing it. And so many people take things for granted, and he takes nothing for granted, and I just envy him. He's amazing, and people wish everybody had the chance to know him, because I love that I know him.
Microboards and cooperatives establish a natural circle of support that may operate for as long as the individual needs or desires one. They control who provides support services and how they are managed. They create ways for the individual to make decisions and manage their own affairs. They identify opportunities for community inclusion, flexibility, and real-life solutions.
They were friends, they were family, people who had known Brian for a long time, people who had only known Brian for 2 or 3 years, but he had truly impacted their life and they wanted to be a part of it. They came from different walks of life. They all brought something very different. You know, we had an attorney, we had a physician, we had, an accountant, we had a businessman, and then we had people who, just are able to really, really contribute their love.
I mean, they go over and above. It's not just a one-time thing, and they genuinely want to be there, and it's continual. They want to support. It's just amazing how the support of our friends and family have been there, and it's not forced. It's not. We don't ask. It just happens.
And I think that's exactly what this board is about. That it's whoever's involved in the board has some love and interest for Jesse and Brian's well-being, and that's why they're sitting on the board.
I don't treat her any different than I would my own kids, right? That's true, and she gets a kick out of that at times, because I just expect her to stir and make meatballs and make cookies and roll them, and we try everything.
They kind of know who of us they can go to for certain things, and we've kind of all contacted people that we know about things. So when they expanded, their family a little bit out to us, we doubled with the people that we know, and just kind of, we can suggest different people that might be helpful in different kinds of situations.
In working together, we generate resources above and beyond state funding. This can become a powerful force with unlimited strength.
And so the idea is that it's self-directed, so there isn't staff deciding what services are offered or other people. It's the families and individuals themselves determining what services are available.
And when we look at Elizabeth, and we just see how much she's blossomed and grown and how happy she is. And the potential, the fact that she has a job, a paying job, that's almost more than, that we'd hoped for. We thought maybe someday we could find somebody that would let her volunteer.
Having groups, being able to accept as who I am, learning that I'm not the only one that has a disability.
I think community choices is probably made, as far as Elizabeth's life and our life together goes, probably made one of the largest impacts that we've seen.
And since he got out of high school, he really hasn't had a job, and so he had no structure, and so he just sort of floated. And even though this is only 3 hours in the evening, it provides an anchor that helps him structure the entire rest of his day, and so it's been a big change for him.
Microboards and cooperatives develop personal support services for individuals with disabilities, obtain and manage individualized funding, and engage members of the larger community in a purposeful personal support network.
For the stuff that you brought at Christmas time.
It is essential that there is an unencumbered focus on the identity, needs, and express wishes of the person who is supported. It includes an active, diverse, and fully engaged, citizen-based circle of support.
I think one of the things that's so important for people to realize is while funding is very important for freedom, it isn't the single most important indicator of a quality life. We all know people that have tremendous amounts of money and may not be that happy, and conversely, I think we know a lot of people that don't have a lot and have very rich lives. So, the trick is to obviously, go after funding, try to figure out how to do that, but also when you have funding, use that in ways that are empowering to the individual, in ways that have to do with inclusion, that don't concern ourselves with readiness, and just getting out there and having life be the priority, having life and who that person is be what the driving force is.
And now I look at everything and I say, is this something that my board could handle? Is this something that I could delegate? Because I will still be the one dealing with the IEP and the medical and the insurance, but something that can be removed off my shoulders and given to somebody who's asking me, what can I do to help you? How can I support him? That's what the beauty of the microboard is. So now, whenever I look at something, I go, is that something I need to do by myself? Or is it something that I can share?
When you're not there anymore to make sure that that quality of life is intact, there are other people who care about that individual who will make sure that that happens.
The big deal is that it's no longer just mom doing all the heavy lifting, and it also addresses the question that every family gets night sweats over, which is who's going to be here looking after my son or daughter after I'm gone. There is a source of continuity here and endurance and fidelity to the person that really works.
As we help individuals build a community of relationships and support, the clear goal is to provide the groundwork that allows the person to be able to live a rewarding life in any way that they choose to live it.
We've made it very clear that this is Brian's home, and we are not fitting Brian into any peg. He's going to grow and mature as he does, and we are here to make his life better. He is not here to make our life better or get us public funding or anything else. So the programs that we develop here are for Brian's sake, not for the sake of the organization.
He was like a little caterpillar that stayed in his little cocoon, and he has now evolved into this huge, beautiful butterfly.
Microboards and cooperatives bring together passionate people that care about a family and an individual who needs support to live the best quality of life possible. This relationship becomes life-changing, not only for the individual, but for the people who become active members.
They were there before, but now somehow with it organized as a group, as kind of like a formal group that has meetings, and it changes the whole kind of dynamics of how they feel responsibility and accountability to Brian's life too. And it's not like, oh, a commitment that they have to do. It's done out of love.
On his own, he spontaneously made a drawing with his Wii, and which is something he's never done anyway. And then when he showed it to me, he said, "Mom, you know, look at this." And it was a unicorn that was painted like a rainbow and said, "Mom, community choices, a rainbow of opportunities."
Communities large and small can feel the power of microboards and cooperatives because the individual becomes a contributing member of that community.
And when they put it on the board and we were sitting there and all the names and signatures were on there and we actually seen her life take place, it was like, now we get it. Now we understand, you know. And to the point that everybody I talk to that has anybody that's got any type of disability, these are the numbers, these are the people you need to contact, and you need to do it now.
When we work together, we become stronger together. When we speak with one voice, we make a difference in the lives of those individuals who we care about.